and as close to one as we possibly can, because one thing for sure is you all got a busy schedule. My name is Fred Mendoza. I'm honored to be working with the State GOP party and working in media relations. And it's been an active week politically and throughout the country. It's going to be a very active week in Oklahoma, and it's my honor to introduce the current state chairman of the Oklahoma Republican Party, David McLain.
Thank you, Fred, and I'd like to welcome all of you here today. My name is David McLain. I'm the chairman of the Republican State Party here in Oklahoma. And as chairman, it's been my principal responsibility to communicate with the federal delegation and the executive branch, Governor Stitt, Lieutenant Governor Pinnell, to make our president welcome here at the great state of Oklahoma. Today, I have been in contact personally with Senator Lankford. I am in contact with Senator Inhofe, Congressman Hearn, Congressman Cole, and Congressman Mullins staffers regarding our president's upcoming visit. I have a call after this press conference with RNC co-chair Tommy Hicks as well. And I'd like to note something very important here. Coming out of COVID-19, our president's very first rally, in excess of 800,000 people, it's historic, have signed up to come to this rally and this event. Let's just think about that for one moment. 1/5 of the 4 million people, 1/5 of our population, if you want to look at it that way, 800,000 people. That is absolutely historic. That's that sleeping giant that we're talking about, that none of the press seem to pick up on. We've seen some of the latest polling where they say that Mr. Biden is in the lead, but I'll guarantee you here in the state of Oklahoma, we will bring in 80+% of the vote for our president in the state of Oklahoma. And we have worked very diligently to do that. Our staff is putting out information via email blasts and postings to our website. That's okgop.com. As we get correct details from the Trump campaign, I ask you to be very leery of any other information being put out on social media that does not come personally from the federal delegation, the Trump campaign, or this office, the OKGOP. I have been in contact with Congressman Hearn's office today, the 1st District, and he has a statement he'd like for me to read to you, and I'd like to do that now. Representative Kevin Hearn, Oklahoma District 1. I am excited to have President Trump launch his campaign tour in Tulsa, and that he is making his first visit to Oklahoma as president in my district, said Rep. Hearn. As reported by the Trump campaign, the interest and excitement for this event is unprecedented. The president's supporters will flock from around the nation to attend this rally. In fact, I greeted some supporters this morning outside the BOK Center who were already lined up to get seats for the event on Saturday. With this event, I am thrilled that people across the country and the entire world will be able to catch a glimpse of the unique and special character of our city and the people who call it home. And from Congressman Cole's office, congressional delegation does a great job and will do even better when it flips the House and sends a Republican to work in the 5th Congressional District in November. That's a very simple statement from Congressman Cole. Are there any questions?
Dave, Chris Castillo, the Oklahoman. Hearn's statement seems to suggest what seems logical is that all these requests aren't coming from Oklahoma. You said it's 1/5 of Oklahoma's population, but there's nothing in the numbers that the campaign manager is putting out that say they're all from Oklahoma.
Well, absolutely. I just use that as a comparison. So
okay.
800,000 people in comparison would be 1/5 of our state's population. And yes, there are, I don't know how many people from out of state that are purposing to come in, but this is definitely a national type of event. Yes, sir.
David, Governor Stitt said earlier today that he's looking at alternative venues besides BOK. It just isn't enough room. What are your thoughts?
Well, we have not had anything confirmed by the RNC. Madam Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel has not confirmed that. I do have a phone call with co-chairman Tommy Hicks when we're done with this press conference, so I really don't have anything to report on that.
David, Sean Murphy with the AP. Do you have concerns with having thousands of people in an indoor arena when you said we're at the end of COVID, but it's obviously very much active in our community?
Sure, absolutely. And we are absolutely sensitive to that, and we are following the governor's guidelines and the federal guidelines when it comes to this. Now, I want to make everybody understand that we have gone through phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of our opening. The Trump campaign will be providing masks for every person who is at the BOK Center, hand sanitizer, and they will be doing temperature checks on every single person that come in the door, just so you know. We will be following the guidelines that are put out. And understand, our governor has done a remarkable job positioning the state of Oklahoma as what I like to call the freest state in the nation, with all of our businesses beginning to open back up. All of us take personal responsibility very serious here in the state of Oklahoma. You'll see even a number of you are wearing masks, social distancing, and still trying to keep ourselves safe, but we have to be able to get out and communicate with one another, create business, and we're thankful that we have a governor who understands those things but wants to do it safely as per the data-driven guidelines via the health department.
Have you talked about how many, with the organizers in Tulsa, about how many people you will allow to be okay? Because Tulsa County has reported twice just over the weekend. So have you all talked about how many you will actually allow?
Sure, there has been a total spike across the state of Oklahoma of about 100. And out of that 100, I believe there were 6 reported deaths, adding a total to about 266 people who have died from COVID, which we don't want anybody to die from COVID. Now, the BOK, I believe, seats 20,000 people, and I believe it is the intent to fill the BOK up with people. But we, like I said, I will pivot right back to what I just said. There will be masks handed out. There will be hand sanitizer there, and temperatures will be taken of the people who are entering the event.
Sir, you answered Aaron's question about possibly changing venues, but if in case that doesn't happen, have they talked about the hundreds of thousands of people who have said that they want to come? I mean, is there any plan for where they might go if they show up?
Yes, I'll go right back to my first statement that I made just a moment ago. When I have more information that I can put out about that accurately, I will.
Do you know why he chose Tulsa? What have you heard about why he chose Tulsa?
Well, because he loves Oklahoma, number one. Number two, he understands that the people of Oklahoma have been locked up since March and that our state is open for business. Our president understands that it's very important to come to a state, one of the freest states in the country, what I like to call the freest state in the country right now, as our governor and the executive branch has positioned us. I think he understands that. There was also a call out to try to get the national convention here, but obviously it went to Florida, but we got the president instead, so we'll take that.
Is that like kind of a consolation prize?
I wouldn't call it that. What I would call it is the president made his selection based on the way that he wanted it to go.
Let me just follow up on my colleague's question though. Why not Oklahoma City, where we've got a stadium right next to a large open air park, right next to several parking lots, where we could accommodate?
Yeah, I would refer you to the RNC to get that answer. I don't have that answer.
Do you have any information about possible overflow? I mean, you've got so many people, but the Cox Center is next door.
Yes, so it's my understanding that the overflow will be in the Cox Center, and there very well could be a couple special guests that swing in through the Cox Center to say hello to the crowd over there.
Is there any way to try to protect some of the tickets for Oklahomans? There seems to be this frustration that so many people are registering, but this is happening in my backyard.
Sure. So the early bird gets the worm. First come, first serve. That's the way that our president has done it in every state.
David, you're from Tulsa. You know it's a city that has a long history of troubled race relations. Do you have any concern that this rally could inflame those tensions?
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up. You know, the president instructed, I was on the phone this morning with Senator Langford, had a lengthy conversation with him this morning. The president instructed Senator Langford to reach out to the Black Wall Street district leadership and shared with them that we are sensitive about the Juneteenth celebration, and that this was a date that was agreed upon by the Black Wall Street leadership and the administration. I want to remind you, the Republicans are the party of Lincoln. There is a 13th Amendment because of the Republican Party. The Emancipation Proclamation was the very first Republican president in the United States would be Abraham Lincoln. So I would like to invite all nationalities into the Republican Party. We are a big tent. There are a lot of conservatives out there, and I'm reaching for every one of them. I want all of them to be in this party because we are a party of great opportunity for anybody, race, creed, or color.
Any talk about him actually going to Greenwood that you know of?
No talk about that at all.
Are you sure about that?
I have not heard personally anything about that.
State invited him to Greenwood.
Okay, well, I haven't heard anything. This office has not confirmed that, but I don't know anything about that.
We understand Mike Pence will be there as well. Is he going to be in the same building? Is he going to be?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the vice president will be located, but historically, it seems if we look at the last rally there in Dallas that was done, the vice president was there with his delegation that was traveling with him in the same building.
There's also a Craigslist ad that is out that apparently the Trump campaign is hiring people of color to be kind of behind him. Is there any truth to that?
I haven't heard anything about that at all.
Do you have any idea about any private fundraiser he may stop at, or is it plain arena plain?
Well, we're still getting information from the Trump administration. Things are very fluid right now. As soon as I know, I will put out a press release about that situation, sir.
So, you said that you're handing out masks to everybody. Are they?
I'm not handing out anything.
Well, that they were going to hand out masks.
Who's they?
I thought you said the Trump campaign.
Trump administration is handing out masks to everybody. You're right.
Okay. Are they going to be required to wear them, or are they just handing them out?
Well, I think an individual, us coming through the third phase and Oklahoma being open for business, and all of us being adults and respectful adults, will be able to manage themselves on when they feel that they should have their mask on and when they should take their mask off. I haven't heard of any policy of mandatory mask wearing at this point, but that's fluid and could possibly change. I don't know.
Do you know where he's flying into? Is it going to fly to Tinker or Tulsa?
I don't know. I don't know that question. Yeah.
Has the president signaled what kind of message he wants to restart the campaign with here in Tulsa?
Well, I believe it's going to be an edifying message. I believe it's going to be a unifying message to the state and to the nation. Right now, we're at a place where a unification message, it will be an extremely strong message, an economic message that the V-shaped recovery that has been talking about is taking place. As you know, the unemployment rates came in a lot lower than what were anticipated. We're hoping that the next quarter looks even better, but we'll just have to see how all that goes as the states individually, each state governor ramps up and opens up their state. Anyone else?
Do you expect,
Mike Carey with Southwest Ledger.
Sir.
Will Vice President Pence be the headliner sort of at the other location, the overflow location?
You know, I don't have that information, and I don't want to put out anything that I'm not 100% on, but I can find out for you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So if I want to get into the BOK Center, I need to start sleeping outside then?
Well, you know, if you want to get into the BOK Center, you should probably do what's in your heart. Anyone else?
Is there any concern about, just from looking at the past weeks, and we've seen protests even this past weekend, that there will be any conflict with protesters who might show up on Saturday, even though he moved it from Juneteenth?
Sure. You know, the Secret Service is obviously securing the area with local law enforcement. That is always safety. Public safety is always at the highest of our concerns right now. So I'm sure that there is an absolute plan in place for the public safety. An expectation that looters and rioters are going to show up. I don't think anybody has that expectation, but we always have opposition protests at every rally, that whether it's a Democrat rally or a Republican rally, there's always opposition protests, and protesters are more than welcome. Peaceful protesters are more than welcome. It's the rioters and looters that are going to have problems.
Have you coordinated with the Tulsa Police Department, and are they gonna be prepared to handle any counter demonstrations?
Yeah, I would defer you to GT Bynum's Chief of Staff for those questions. My office doesn't have anything to do with that.
Seems like this administration's been paying a lot of attention to Oklahoma with multiple visits. Is that rare, or is this just what other states get when they get on somebody's good side?
I think it's rare. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our state to be put on the global stage so they can see the uniqueness of Oklahoma City, of Tulsa, of our rural, of our agriculture, of our oil industry, of our avionics, and so on and so forth. So I think it puts us on the world stage, and I'm very excited to have that.
Last week, we interviewed the Oklahoma State Medical Board president, who was saying that in, rallies like this, it would be best to keep it as short as possible to reduce the exposure. Do you know of any plans for how long it might be?
I haven't heard any of those guidelines yet. They haven't been put out yet, but I'm sure that they're being talked about. I would like to bring something up that has not been talked a whole lot about, just real quick, and I think it needs to be talked about. One of the main purposes of this president's visit here is to bring light to the 5th Congressional District. Kendra Hearn in the 5th Congressional District come November will be unseated by a Republican. And I'm sure our president will be discussing that as he gives his speech. He's here to, as well, shine light on that district. We have all of our resources pointed at the 5th Congressional District. So we're excited about the president coming here and bringing more light to that district, because we know this. That is the #1 seat in the nation right now. As the 5th goes, potentially the rest of the country goes. We know that. And that is a very elevated seat, and I believe our president's coming here to shine a light on that seat, because we will have certain victory come November.
Well, he could hold the rally in the 5th district. That kind of goes back to what we were asking before. Why Tulsa rather than?
Well, I would refer you back to the RNC and their press people on that question. I don't have that answer.
Any indication he may be spending the night, or is he just going to fly out? Or?
No indication that he's spending the night.
Since you brought up the 5th district, any concern that the crowded Republican primary field could exhaust resources? I mean, that's potentially headed to a runoff as well. That could potentially drain resources that could be used elsewhere.
Well, I mean, I think anytime you have a full field, there's always that concern, and there probably will be a runoff in the 5th. What we're purposing to do is to have a polite runoff in the 5th. What we don't want is our candidates out beating each other up and giving fodder to the Democrat Party to use against them in a general election. But we are unified. This party, the Oklahoma GOP, is a unified party, and we will get behind our nominee in the 5th, and we will push our nominee through to victory in November. Sir.
I'm out of the press, but I'm in office. I'm a candidate for statewide office. Do I have a chance to say anything?
This is for the press only.
Okay.
Anything else? Thank you for coming. God bless you.